everyone, this is Chahar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'll be discussing the summary of lesson number 6, The Making of a Scientist, from the book Footprints Without Feet of class 10. This is a biographical account of a renowned scientist, Richard H. Ebright, who excelled in his research on butterflies. So, like I said, the chapter is about Richard Ebright. It deals with a lot of facts and details about his life. So, you may require to watch this video more than once just to be clear with all the facts and details. First of all, let's discuss about the theme. The chapter is based on the theme that untiring will to succeed, a curious mind, and a dedicated effort combine to groom an individual into a genius. And of course, the genius that we're talking about is Richard Ebright. The author aims at inspiring the young minds by describing the making of Richard Ebright as a scientist. Richard Ebright, the famous scientist who surprised the scientific world with his theory on how cells work. When Ebright was only 21 years old, he published a paper on this finding about cell in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Science. It's a very prestigious journal, and he did this with the help of his college roommate. It was a rare achievement for a young scientist like him. Ebright earned many achievements later in life, but his career in science actually started with his interest in butterflies. Yes, his career started with his interest in butterflies. Let's talk about his early childhood. Ebright was the only child of his parents. He grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. Reading is the name of the place where he grew up. As he didn't have much company in this place, he didn't have siblings, he didn't have many friends, so he played all by himself most of the time. So we can say that Richard Ebright was an introvert child. That was the time when he started taking interest in collecting things. In his kindergarten days, he started collecting butterflies. Apart from that, he also collected rocks, fossils, and coins. He was fond of stargazing too. He would just sit and look at stars. So, we can say that he was different. He was indeed a special child. His mother's role. This question is very, very important. Describe his mother's role in his life. Well, his mother played an important role in his upbringing. She understood her son's aspirations and encouraged him in his learning. She took him on trips and bought him equipments like microscopes, telescopes, cameras, etc. to facilitate his learning. Until Ebright went to school, until he went to a formal school, his mother was his only companion. And after the death of his father, well, his father died when Ebright was in 3rd grade. So after his father's death, this companionship, this bond strengthened further. His mother ensured that Ebright was always busy, as she knew that her child wanted to learn more and more. She made sure that he had what he needed. By the time Richard reached 2nd grade, he had collected all the 25 varieties of butterflies that were found near his hometown. His hometown was Reading. He was a good student and he always earned top grades in school. His mother wanted her son to continue his interest in butterflies. So she bought him a book titled Travels of Monarch 10. So this was also a major turning point in his life when she bought him this book titled Travels of Monarch 10. The book taught Ebright about migration of monarch butterflies to Central America and sharpened his eagerness about butterflies. The book was written by Dr. Frederick A. Urquhart. In his book, Dr. Frederick requested the readers to tag butterflies for the research. Tagging butterfly means कोई निशानी लगा देना butterflies पे, so that when they are caught again, they can be recognized. The butterfly season in reading lasted 6 weeks only, and collecting them one by one did not lead the collection anywhere. So, Ebright caught a female monarch and raised her eggs in his basement. He tried to raise as many monarchs as possible, tag them, and let them go. Why let them go? Because he wanted to see whether they will migrate to Central America or not. However, soon he lost interest in tagging butterflies, as it was not a it wasn't a very rewarding job. Of all the butterflies he had tagged, only 2 could be recaptured. In his 7th grade, Ebright participated in a county science fair. County means a county is like a district, a small area. His entry was slides of frog tissues which he wanted to show under a microscope. He did not win any prize for this. Here, he learned that a neat display of object was not enough. To win a prize, one had to perform actual experiments. So, he will not win anything by only displaying things. He understood that if he wanted to win, he was required to perform the experiments himself. He didn't win any prize, but he didn't lose heart. Obviously, he was sad, but he didn't lose heart and he tried harder. He was very competitive. His competitive spirit urged him to pledge that for next year's fair, he would do some real experiment. So he decided to work on insects, a subject he was really good at. He wrote to Dr. Frederick. Who was Dr. Frederick? The same writer who had written that book, Travels of Monarch 10. So he wrote a letter to Dr. Frederick for ideas, and in return, he got many suggestions. These suggestions kept him busy all through the high school and also won him many county as well as international science fair prizes. For the 8th grade project, Ebright worked to find the reason behind the viral disease that caused the death of nearly all monarch caterpillars every few years. So every few years, some disease used to spread among the butterflies and all the monarch butterflies used to die. So he decided to find out the reason behind this thing. He thought that the disease was carried by a beetle. So he raised the caterpillars in the presence of beetles. Although he didn't get any result from this experiment, but he still won a prize for experimenting. Next year, he tried to verify and test the theory that Viceroy butterfly copies the monarch. It was believed that monarchs did not taste good and birds didn't like eating them. So, Viceroy butterfly, in order to protect themselves from birds, deceived them by giving an impression that they were monarchs. So, they were trying to befool the birds by pretending that they were not Viceroy butterfly, but they were monarchs. However, Ebright's efforts resulted in finding that starlings didn't like ordinary food, but they loved eating monarchs. This project won him the first prize in zoology division and an overall third prize in the county science fair. Although Ebright tells us that although he couldn't prove that viceroys actually copy monarchs, but later research by other scientists proved that yes, they do copy monarchs. Moving ahead, let's talk about his project during the second year of high school. Ebright's project during his second year of high school resulted in the discovery of an unknown insect hormone, which led to his new theory on the life of cells. In this project, he wanted to find out the purpose behind the 12 gold spots on the body of the monarch pupa. It was believed that these gold spots were just ornamental. They didn't serve any other purpose. However, Ebright, along with another budding science student, showed that the spots produced hormones which helped the butterfly to develop properly. For this project, Ebright bagged the first prize in the county fair, which earned him an entry into the International Science and Engineering Fair, where his project was placed third. During summer, he also got a chance to work at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. So it was a big achievement for him at that time. The next year, Ebright grew cells in monarch's wings and showed that these cells divide and develop into a grown-up butterfly wing only when they were given the hormone from the gold spots. After his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the Department of Agriculture to do more work on hormones from the gold spots, and finally he was able to identify the chemical structure of the hormone. A year and a half later, Ebright got an idea for his new theory about cell life while looking at the X-ray photo of the hormone's chemical structure. Examination of the photo gave him an answer to one of the biology's puzzles about how the cell can read the blueprint of the DNA which controls heredity. So it was a major breakthrough. Later, the entire theory was published as a paper that explained in detail with the help of pictures and plastic models prepared with the help of his college roommate James R. Wong. Ebright graduated from the Harvard University with the highest honor. He later joined the Harvard Medical School and continued research and experiments to test his theory. If his theory proves to be true, it can be used to cure a variety of disease, not just in insects but in human beings also. Apart from his interest in scientific research, Ebright has other interests also. As a young student, he was an excellent debater and orator. He took keen interest in outdoor activities and he was a good canoeist as well. Canoeist means a person who, canoe is that small boat kind of thing. So he loved boating as well. He was a good photographer too and took pictures of natural objects and scientific displays. Richard always earned A grades. He was a great fan of his social studies teacher, Richard A. Wehrer. Wehrer liked Ebright a lot and had high regard for his capabilities. Ebright has all the qualities of a good scientist. He has a brilliant mind, he has curiosity, and he has the will to win. He has the right blend of all these qualities, which has made him a great scientist. So the chapter conveys the message that if one wants to succeed in life and reach great heights like Ebright, one must have sincerity of purpose, single-minded devotion, and strong determination. one needs to put in extraordinary efforts to achieve such distinctions. So that's all about it. If you liked the video, if you found it useful, then please subscribe to my channel and you can also leave comments. Thank you.